Hi, I'm Dr. Barker with Integrative Pain and Wellness Center, and patients are asking me all the time, how do I lose weight? I want to lose weight, I've lost weight, but it comes back. I'm doing the right things with my diet and exercise, and I'm not losing weight. Well, when it comes to weight, there are really three different components that you have to think about. You have your calories in, you have your extra calories burned, through exercise, and then you have your basal metabolic rate. And most people put all their time and effort and focus into the first two. They try to eat better or less, and they try to exercise more. But the most important of these three components is your basal metabolic rate. But that one is also the most complicated. That one, your hormones, your sex hormones, your digestive hormones that regulate your appetite, your cortisol levels, your thyroid levels. There's just so many things that impact that basal metabolic rate. And all of the basal metabolic rate is under your autonomic nervous system control. You're not consciously telling your hormones to be made or your proteins to be made and regulating the thyroid function and all of those very intricate things that your body does without you telling it to do. So that's the most complicated part, and that's the most important part. What most people don't know, and I didn't know this until recently, probably in the last 2.5 years, is that we have this energetic blueprint that our physical body is working off of. So who tells or what tells the autonomic nervous system what to do? Well, there is this ideal subconscious energetic blueprint that the physical body is working off of. So that is what is giving directions to your autonomic nervous system. And unbeknownst to me previously, you can have a particular weight for that energetic blueprint that your physical body is working off of. So I'll use my example. I used to have the energetic blueprint of a 205-pound adult male. And for most of my adult life, I would be around 205 pounds. I could do really drastic measures on my calories in or on my calories out and lose 20, 30, even 40 pounds in relatively short periods of time, but that weight would all come back. And the most drastic of this example, back in 2017, I started intermittent fasting as a lifestyle. So I drastically reduced my calories in. I was, going from eating 3 meals plus snacks every day to just eating usually 2 meals and maybe a snack in a shorter period of time. And over the first 6 months doing intermittent fasting, I actually lost, I think it was about 35 pounds. So I was down to about 170. And I really enjoyed the lifestyle of intermittent fasting, and it had other health benefits. And so I continued to do it. Now, I did go up probably a little bit in my calorie intake from those initial 6 months, but it was still far reduced from my pre-2017 calorie intake. And despite being less than pre-2017, my weight all came back. I mean, I went all the way back to 205 pounds. So how is that possible? My calories in didn't really change, and my exercise habits didn't really change. So what had to have changed is my basal metabolic rate. So my basal metabolic rate was still working off of this blueprint that showed me to be a 205-pound person. So my body said, man, we are not getting enough calories to weigh 205 pounds, so we're gonna have to slow things down. And so my basal metabolic rate must have slowed down for me to gain all of that weight back. And then unfortunately at that 205 pounds with the slower basal metabolic rate, if I ate a little worse than usual, I would actually fluctuate up from that to 210, 212. And so that was kind of this cycle that I was on until I discovered the concept of this energetic blueprint. And I read a book that taught me how to meditate and taught me about these concepts in December of 2021. I'll just show you a picture of what I looked like in around that time period, around January of 2022, and a photo from 2020. So I started meditating in December of 2021. And basically, to change this blueprint, one of the ways to do it is through meditation. So what you would do is you get into that relaxed state of mind. You want to really, you can use music or other relaxation techniques, breath work, to relax your mind, relax your body. And then what you would do is imagine your ideal version of yourself, physically, mentally. So I started imagining my 175-pound version of myself, muscular and fit and full of energy. And I also included anything else that was wrong with me at the time. I just imagined this perfect or ideal version of myself. And then the most important part is once you have that version of you kind of in your mind, in your mind's eye, you then have to feel the emotions as if that is already your reality. So gratitude, joy, happiness, the more that you can feel that emotion of that being your reality, the better. Because the physical body doesn't tell the difference. When you're in an emotional state, it can't tell whether that emotion is being generated from a past memory, from the present, or from a future thought. And so it just thinks everything emotional is in the present moment. So when you can feel the emotions of that future version of you, that is what starts to change the blueprint. And now your body starts working off of that newer, better version of you. So I started doing this on a fairly daily basis in December of 2021. On January 15th of 2022, I had a pretty transformative experience. It was a whole night of event from 10 p.m. until 7 in the morning. And it was really from that moment that things really started to click. And that's when my weight loss started, pretty significant and pretty drastic. From January 15th, it took about just over 3 months. And I didn't change anything in my diet or exercise habits. I was meditating daily. I did start to release some negative emotions around the same time I started to meditate. And I did start doing breath work on a daily basis. And over the course of that just over 3-month period, I lost the 30 pounds that I was trying to lose. So I went from that 205 pound to my new blueprint of 175 pounds. And what had to have happened? If I didn't really change my calories in, calories out, my basal metabolic rate drastically changed. And technically, my labs showed I was in hyperthyroid. So our bodies are amazing. They have the ability to make any chemical way better than any pharmaceutical company ever could. And we have within us the power to make weight loss medication. We have the power to make our own antidepressants, our own pain meds, our own depression or anxiety meds. We have our own stem cells. We can repair and regenerate. And it's just, our bodies are phenomenal when we learn how to really tap into the full power of our body. And by doing so, we need to tap into the power of our mind. And so what happened is my body said, wow, we need to lose 30 pounds. So my thyroid function went up. Now, when there is dysregulation of your thyroid and your thyroid is out of whack and you have hyperthyroidism as a disease, you would typically expect to feel, have some unintentional weight loss and tend to be really hot, tend to be anxious, have insomnia, increased heart rate, maybe diarrhea, and then skin and hair, issues. And I did have the weight loss and I did have a ton of energy, but the moment I wanted to go to bed, I could go to bed. I wasn't anxious at all. I actually felt better, happier than I ever had. Prior to that, I had energy for days. I felt like I was just tuned in and dialed in, mind, body, in a way never before. I didn't have any diarrhea issues, didn't have any hair or skin health issues. I actually was considerably colder, not hotter, from my previous baseline prior to January 15th. And so I didn't have any of the unwanted aspects of hyperthyroidism because my body was therapeutically using my thyroid to lose weight, to change my basal metabolic rate. And once I got to that 175 pounds, I've stayed there. So here's the picture of me at that 175 pounds, just over 3 months from January 15th. And now we are at November of 2023, so about a year and a half from that initial 175 pounds. And from that point, I have just fluctuated up or down 5 pounds from that 175, and I've made different changes and ups and downs in my calories in or my exercise habits, yet my basal metabolic rate is keeping things steady right around that 175 pounds. So if you are having problems losing weight and you've tried all the diets and you've tried all the exercise programs, I definitely think like a healthy diet is good for many reasons, and exercise has so many benefits. But if those are the things that you've been doing and you're still struggling with your weight, you need to start thinking about your mind and thinking about this energetic blueprint, and really knowing that there's such a huge mind, body, spirit component to our health. You can't just treat the physical. So if you are struggling with your weight and you want to try a different approach than what you've been doing, come see us at Integrative Pain and Wellness Center. We can help you to learn these tools, learn these techniques, to not just lose weight, but to really impact any aspect of your health, any aspect of your life, mental, emotional, your relationships. The mind is just so powerful, so important, and we hope that you can come and learn these tools with us. Thank you so much.